Twist Nation. Talking sports with a twist, no script. Legends coming through on the guest list. TC in the Silver Lake of the Lakes, from Green Bay. That's all I gotta say. Gonna score with the Wolves, you know we don't play. We get wild every single day. We got our flaws, but we love our saints. Twist Nation, go to like our page.
Dima Cash.
Cash.
Yeah. Welcome in. Episode 15 of Twist, the Weekend Sports Talk.
Bart Starr.
What's up?
Patrick Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. Jeez.
Patty.
So we are corona free. We have all of our essentials right here in case we need it. You know, a little bit of that. We got an exciting show for you.
And a lot of toilet paper.
There was some stuff going on in the week of sports, so we do have some talkers as well as a couple guests. Yeah, it's been a crazy week, fellas. Have you been doing everything you need to do to keep yourself clean?
I have 6 rolls of toilet paper in my house. I'm going to be good for at least the next 3 months.
I'm sitting on a
6?
Sam's Club pack of, I think, 32 rolls.
Why does everybody need so much damn
Well, that's
toilet?
just what comes in the pack. I bought this pack about 3 weeks ago. Just never brought it in. So I think
what we need is Lysol, especially Lysol, because they're one of my biggest customers.
Oh, there it is.
But,
all right, free drop. We'll let it go. No big deal.
So we're waiting on our first guest to join. He is Lake Lewis Jr.
Yeah.
He's a Washington Redskins beat reporter and TV analyst. Also the owner of sportsjourney.com and a member of the Pro Football Writers of America.
Some people might say, what's sportsjourney.com? It's game practice analysis, interviews, and podcasts by our NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB credentialed reporters. You can IG and Facebook at sportsjourney.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, he's also a syndicated sports radio host, having broadcast on ESPN Radio and CBS Sports Radio. He's the host of daily podcasts after practice with Lake Lewis. We got some guests here. Display auctioning that off. We are auctioning this stuff off. If you need to come and pick this up,
$700.
If you're short on the stuff, you know, we got you. So Tiffany, if you need
each item goes for about 1,000 views.
Well, it depends. It depends on how many
people want it. Share.
We're gonna auction it off.
Yeah, Greg.
What's up, Mike? Absolute Sports Cards. How are you?
What's up?
Good to see ya.
How about Zion?
So, as always, all of our interviews are brought to you by
Bricks
Boatworks, your trusted local source for marine repair. Bricks Boatworks is the Twin Cities' #1 choice for marine repair and secure indoor boat storage. Serving the Metro since I graduated high school in 2003. And Greg was still gray-haired.
Old man.
2003 is the year I moved up. It's the year I moved
Located in Shakopee. Some of their services: marine structural repair, storage and shrink wrap, service and maintenance, fall winterizing services, boat and pontoon detailing, dock and lift services, upholstery and canvas covers.
God, they do it all.
So I think we're going to get some headlines in while we wait for Lake here.
Let's go ahead. All right. Sports headlines for the week. There's a bunch, so we'll kind of do a quick summary first. NCAA men's and women's NCAA tournaments are canceled. NBA season suspended indefinitely. NHL season suspended indefinitely. MLS season suspended for 30 days. MLB opening day delayed at least 2 weeks. Premier League season suspended until April 4th.
Nobody cares.
NFL owners meeting canceled. XFL season suspended. Golf, the Players' Championship, and all events through the Masters have been canceled or postponed. And NASCAR which, come on, we're diehards. The weekend's race at Atlanta and next weekend's race at Homestead Miami Speedway have been postponed.
They're making a left turn.
Yeah, so that's a summary. Let's start with the NBA. Adam Silver said on TNT's Inside the NBA on Thursday that the league will be on hiatus for a minimum of 30 days, but even that seems soon. And then we'll go down to NHL. The league's decision to temporarily suspend the season because of the ongoing corona threat, a day after the NBA stunned the world by doing the same, is indeed a historical day. Let's see here. What do we want next? NFL. Why not? Several teams are making the decision to suspend all team-related travel for 30 days. Scouts and coaches are being told to go home, and NFL prospect visits are being canceled.
Yeah, they're told to go home, not go on vacation, not go to Tijuana.
Patty's in Mexico right now, living. All right, then we got NCAA. The NCAA canceled its men's and women's basketball tournaments on Thursday because of the spread of the coronavirus, putting an abrupt end to the season less than a month before champions were to be crowned. So I have the trophy, and I'll keep that on my trophy shelf. No big deal.
That's the only way you're going to win.
That's about it, Greg. Thank you for that.
We're just going to scratch off the 2020 and write 2021 for next year. So
not true.
Yeah.
There can only be one 2020 champ. I'll take it.
Nope.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament has been played every year since 1939 when Oregon won the championship in Evanston, Illinois. It has grown through the years, both in size and stature. The 3-week tournament generates almost $1 billion in revenue each year for the NCAA and its hundreds of members, universities, and colleges, most coming from television contracts with CBS and Turner that pays the NCAA almost $800 million. Yes, I said million dollars annually.
Wow.
Yeah, so wreckage, man. Virus.
A lot of stuff going on.
Sure.
Or not going on, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, definitely. That is a fact. So
I was just gonna say, I watched WWE last night, and it was weird. No audience; they were just doing like a practice thing.
But your call has been forwarded.
The Lake Show,
man,
that's all right.
Devices are up. He didn't answer because he's queued up here. Let's squeeze in and let's get ready for him. So again, we have Lake Lewis Jr.
Yes.
What's up?
There he is. What up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Perfectly fine. We're here, you know.
Oh yeah, looks great. Thanks, Lake. Good to have you on. We're all queued up here. We got our hand sanitizer, our Lysol toilet paper.
It's all here.
Of course, hey, I'm not supposed to touch my face, right?
Oh yeah.
You don't realize how much you touch your face until you're told not to.
No doubt.
And yesterday I was in the bank, and there was a guy in the bank that was saying, "Hey, we're supposed to be 6 to 8 feet away from each other." And I'm like, "Man, let me get my money so I can get out of here."
Oh yeah, I've seen people on videos ironing their money now. I mean, I knew they'd do that in the past to flatten it, but they're trying to kill the bacteria, and it's like, all right, we'll get there. So
yeah.
Well, it's great to have you on the show, part of Twist Nation. We got some viewers tuning in right now.
Yeah.
We gave a little background before we invited you on. So you were both Penn State and Georgetown. Did you claim one more than the other?
Oh, Penn State. I'm a Nittany Lion all day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big Ten.
Those were the first 4 years. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of my lifelong friends come from there. And I'm really disappointed because I was looking forward to this weekend with them having a really good season. And I played basketball. So, you know, it was just nice to see us get back in potential to be in the tournament. They were a lock to be in the tournament, but I thought they could make some noise in the Big Ten tournament as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Were there any big name players either at Penn State or Georgetown kind of at the same time you were going to school there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I played with John Amici and Calvin Booth. The Crispin brothers were there.
Okay.
One of them's an analyst on Big Ten Network now. And when I was at Georgetown, you know, a guy by the name of Allen Iverson was walking around campus.
Okay,
sure. There you go.
Really good team. Othello Harrington, Jerome Williams, Victor Page. That was a good team. A team that, you know, got knocked off by UMass. So that hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, what did you major in college?
Broadcast journalism.
Okay, for sure.
Yep.
So you kind of always had it a dream to do similar things, down the path that you're doing right now?
Yeah, actually, at Penn State, I had to make the decision. Was I going to be a walk-on basketball, or was I, going to sit the bench and not play? So I made the decision that I had an opportunity to become the student play-by-play for football, and did that as a sophomore. So I did that for 3 years and was the sports director of this, school radio station WPSU, and it just opened up a lot of doors for me.
Awesome.
What was your passion kind of behind your career path? Obviously, when you got to Penn State, you made that move to do the play-by-play. But as a kid, were you had a passion behind that, or was it always sports?
Yeah, it was sports. I mean, I played football, basketball my whole life, varsity, never played JV, any of that, ended up playing in college for a year. And, it was a great experience, but ever since, my family tells me ever since I was able to speak, I always wanted to talk, as you guys probably can tell by now.
Greg was like that too. He still is. We can't shut him up.
We just don't shut up. I had a girlfriend today tell me, you don't shut up. So, but the other thing is that I've always wanted to be involved in sports somehow. There was a brief time, Georgetown, believe it or not, that was a post-bachelorette pre-med program. Oh. So I had thought about maybe sports medicine.
Okay.
And after a year, I was like, nah, this is for some smarter people than me.
So, there you go. Mike kind of touched on, before we got you live here, kind of some of your endeavors that you're doing right now. Do you want to kind of go into some of the things that you've got on your docket right now that you're working on?
If anything.
This whole coronavirus has put slowed some things down, because I had just had a nice setup. We did I have a podcast, and so my background, I was on ESPN radio for like 8 years. I was a syndicated radio host there, and I did my broadcast live from Disney, from the ESPN club in Orlando. So I kind of took that concept now, now I'm beat reporter, cover the Redskins, TV analyst for Redskins, but I wanted to get back into that. So I started my podcast back up, which is, the new name now for radio broadcast. So
that's After Practice with Lake Lewis?
Yes. And, we just got it set up with one of the probably the biggest mall in this market in DC region, Pentagon City. And, they set up a sound stage for me, and we've done 3 broadcasts. The last broadcast I had, 2 former Redskins, Brian Mitchell and Ricky Irvins, come out. I've had Adrian Peterson, everyone, so it was becoming a really big deal, and we had to cancel this Monday's broadcast. So for the foreseeable future now, because of the coronavirus. So we're going to get back to that. I do a lot of different things in the media here, so I'm always busy.
Yeah. You mentioned AP. He signed with you guys for another year. We're Minnesota guys. He's a cheesehead. Nice. So we got to see all of it. I was live for a 296-yard game. Have you been impressed with his time there? Are you happy they re-signed him for another year?
I'm extremely impressed. And he and I, we're pretty cool. So he told me the day that they had to clean out their stuff, out the locker room last day. And we talked, and I said, you're going to be back here regardless of who's the coach. We knew there was going to be, I knew Callahan wasn't going to be retained. Yep. We knew there was going to be a coaching change. And I'll never forget when Ron Rivera had his introductory press conference. I was sitting right there behind Adrian, and it was Adrian Peterson, and I want to say John Allen. There was a couple players in the front row. Naturally, new coach, they wanted to show their face. Adrian was one of them. And Darius Geis. And after the press conference, we got a chance to go up to Rivera, introduce ourselves, talk to him. Well, I saw Adrian introducing himself to Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera was just like, it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's going to be an honor to coach you. So right there, I knew, I knew that, first of all, this is a young football team. And when you have a Hall of Fame player in general that, leads by example, and you guys know from all those years up there, I can just tell you that, this guy was playing hurt last year, high ankle sprain. The only time he missed practice was when they gave them like a mandatory veteran day off. And if they didn't have that, he would have practiced through that. So that's what this team needed to see, and that's why they brought him back.
Yeah,
and he's still productive.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we saw him against us, and he doesn't look like, old, but he still looked good. You had another former Viking in Case Keenum, kind of track. What were your takeaways with having him on the squad?
I mean, honestly, and it's not a slight to Case. I mean, he was here. He's been here for 1 year. He was here for 1 year and didn't really get a chance to know him too well. He was very serious. I'll say that, about his craft, about his business. But to me, he was like Kirk Cousins 2.0. I mean, it really was. I mean, it was a deke and dunk thrower, didn't throw the ball deep. I know Kirk opened it up a lot more for Minnesota this year, but when you have Stephon Diggs and some of the other guys they have there, you're able to open it up. They have a lot of talent. But I thought Case was, I didn't think he did enough, and I personally thought that Dwayne Haskins should have been moved in that lineup a long time before they did, just because you weren't a good football team and you had a first-round talent at quarterback. It couldn't have gotten any worse. I mean, Case wasn't throwing touchdowns. Colt McCoy wasn't throwing touchdowns, and they were losing. So at that point, why not just get the young kid on the field and get him some reps? Ultimately, they did that. But, to go back to Case, I think he was just a stopgap. I think Jay Gruden was kind of hamstrung with the fact that Kirk left and went to Minnesota, first of all. And, he needed a quarterback that was a veteran that could probably get him some wins to help keep his job. And that didn't happen. And guess what? He got fired. And Case got benched. So
on to the Haskins topic, how do you feel about him as a player? Do you think it's only about reps for him to gain confidence and for him to develop? Or do you think there's some serious things that need to be done coaching-wise to really groom him into an NFL-type quarterback?
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of all of the above, but I will say this, Dwayne, for one, he doesn't lack in confidence. That's a guarantee. This is a very confident kid. And I think that, unfortunately, that's rubbed some folks here, as borderline arrogance or cockiness. But you tell me what great quarterback is not arrogant.
No doubt.
Yeah, you have to be in order to lead. You're leading a whole team at quarterback. But you're talking about a 21-year-old doing that. That's kind of tough, especially when you've only had 1 year of being a leader at the highest level in college. Yeah, it was Ohio State, though. So he's used to playing in front of the big crowds and all of that. But, this was a different situation. He was coming into a situation, as I just mentioned, where, they drafted him high. A lot of fans wanted to see him play earlier. But Jay Gruden needed to win some games.
Yeah.
He didn't have time to develop, Dwayne. And therefore, he didn't give him any practice reps. He was on scout team all the time. So when Callahan was named the interim coach, the first thing he said was, we're not starting Dwayne right away, but we're going to give him some first team reps in practice. And I like to tell people this all the time. His first 3 games, when he got in mop duty, because Case Keenum got knocked out against your team, Minnesota's defense is pretty good. And they were playing at home, and you're bringing him off the bench cold. That game was his first indoctrination. You did it against the Giants 2 weeks before that, off the bench. But as far as his starts, they were against Buffalo, really good defense.
Yeah.
They were against the 49ers, great defense.
Don't I know?
And they were against the New York Jets, who, although they weren't that good, their defense, Greg Williams throws all these different things. But then after that, he beat the Lions. He beat Carolina. And they actually played the Eagles tough, and you could see some things that he was doing. But I tell people this too: his last 2 starts, he after the first quarter in both those games, he had perfect quarterback ratings, and he had more than 12 attempts in each of those games in the first quarter. So you started to see the light bulb come on. It's just a matter of a young team developing him, and now it's a new coaching staff. So hopefully they give him a fair shot.
And that's kind of my point. We saw it last year in Arizona, the year before they had, drafted a quarterback high. Well, then a new regime comes in. They have the first overall pick and go with Rosen. You guys don't have the first overall pick, but you got the second. Do you think they kind of just go the route of getting their own guy at 2 or holding on to him? And
no, I think that's a lot of chatter outside of us.
Okay.
Cover the team. I mean, we they're taking Chase Young. I mean, it'd be silly not to. And I understand, if you ask me right now, what's the strength of the Redskins team? I'm going to tell you it's the defensive line, ironically. However, Chase Young is just so unique. I mean, this league has proven that if you have dominant pass rushers, you can do something and you can change the fortunes of your team rather quickly. All you have to do is look at San Francisco as the blueprint on that. And Chase Young's coming out of Ohio State with a little bit more accolades, believe it or not, than Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa. And those guys are damn good. So I'm sticking with the theme, if I'm coaching. And also say with Ron Rivera, remember, he had a guy named Julius Peppers in Carolina, and they had a really good pass rush down there that went 15-1, went to the Super Bowl. And I also say this too, Cam Newton, who was the MVP that year, they went to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton's never been labeled as great at pretty much anything, but he's been very good at a lot of stuff. So is he a pocket quarterback? Is he a scrambler? I mean, he can do all those things. Well, I look at Dwayne Haskins as kind of like a Cam Newton type player. And I think Ron Rivera got the best out of Cam Newton. And Cam Newton did not have a lot of weapons to throw the ball to at that time. Greg Olsen was pretty much it. Steve Smith wasn't part of that 15-1 team. The Redskins, to me, right now have more talent on their offense, young talent, than the Panthers did when they went to the Super Bowl.
Being a second overall pick, you mentioned Chase Young. Why not trade with somebody like Miami, get 2 first-rounders and a third, and kind of build up a team that obviously didn't fare well last year and as the second overall pick?
I mean, that's a great point. And if I was the GM, which I'm not, I would definitely entertain that. I mean, when you're bad, you need multiple things, holes to fill. And one piece of putty and spackle is not going to fix it. You need a couple things. But it has to be something that blows your socks off, because Chase Young's that valuable of a player. He's a guy that if they draft him, which I expect they will, I'm expecting this guy to have a Pro Bowl type rookie year right off the bat.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. And then on another note, I mean, he's a local kid. He's from this market. Dwayne Haskins is from this market. They both played in college together. Dan Snyder, one thing we know about him is that he's a marketing person. If you can market the face of your franchise with 2 local kids, one on each side of the ball on top of that, and they're good, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So whoever's going to have to trade to get to that number 2 pick, it better be worth it. And I think it's going to be multiple first-round picks, maybe not just 2 this year, but maybe another one into next year, in order to see who's, in my opinion, dumb enough to do that.
Yeah, sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, I being a Packer fan, I thought 30 years ago, screwing up the number 2 pick was the best thing that ever happened to the franchise. By taking Tony Manders, it's 4 steps build. So that's why I like Mike's question. So do you think that, you can get enough value with, like you said, they need wide receivers. They need, they got AP, they need a tight end. Are they going to be able to find that value to have those other young guys that are going to be able to give Haskins the tools that you feel he probably needs?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, guys. I don't think they're that far off. I mean, Terry McLaurin proved that, he's really good. I mean, we saw that in OTAs. We saw that in minicamp, training camp. Yeah. It was like, man, this kid from Ohio State's really good. And he had an incredible year. And I can tell you right now, the kid as a person and his work ethic, he's only going to get better, which means that perhaps he is their number 1 receiver. Okay. If you entertain an Amari Cooper or someone like that, you're not signing anyone to be a true number 1. They could be 1 and 1A, McLaurin and whoever that other person is. But then you have a kid named Steven Sims in the slot that's pretty dynamic as well. And a lot of people around the country don't know about him, but he has the potential to be better than Jamison Crowder was when Jamison Crowder was here. So they've got some pieces. Kelvin Harmon's another receiver. They played nothing but rookies down the stretch, and those guys were blowing people's socks off. So then you look at the running back situation. We talked about AP. Well, we know Darius Geis is extremely talented. He just has to stay healthy. But remember, they also drafted Bryce Love. And that's another
Stanford,
Stanford that people just totally forgot about. So he has an opportunity now. So they've got some young talent. The big hole for them right now is tight end. no Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis retired. So I do think the Redskins will go out and sign either Hunter Henry or, the kid Hooper from Atlanta. I'm pretty sure they're going to get one of those because Dan Snyder will throw the money at you and you can't walk away from it, especially if you.
I know Hunter Henry was franchised. You guys can pick up David Morgan. We just released him.
That's a hard pass. Sorry, David.
Look, my bad if he's watching, but no.
Jimmy Graham, though.
Take Jimmy Graham.
There you go. You better get a walker with that dude. Holy cow.
So where can some of our viewers find you on social media and your website and stuff like that, Lake?
Sure. Well, the website is sportsjourney.com, and it's credentialed with all the major sports divisions out there. Me personally, you can check me out on social media at Lake Lewis on Twitter, Lake Lewis Jr. on Instagram and Facebook, and then, of course, Sports Journey Com on social media as well.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know that we have a Redskins plug now in you. So if there's ever any breaking news down there, we'll definitely request you again, man. And thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You guys did a great job, man. I had a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, Lake. Take care.
Take care.
Beautiful interview.
Got
Loved
fantasy,
it.
got
Lake
fantasy
Lewis
stuff.
Jr.
Got some sleepers for
There-
fantasy next year.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good. Awesome interview.
Speaking of website plugs, rtfsportsnetwork.com, sportsnetwork.com.
Beautiful.
So thank you for listening to us on that. Be sure to check that out. Our website is www.twistsportstalk.com. And speaking of social media, we kind of had something new happen this past Wednesday night, and it's blown up, really.
CBD.
So CBD Cardboard Doge over here created his own Twitter account. You can find him at CBDDOZ. Or no, you're right.
CBD Twist.
Twist.
At CBD Twist.
Where can
That's
they find
Cardboard
you?
Doge. You can find me at Ben's Twist.
Greg?
Twist GBG.
Wait, is it Twist Ben's or Ben's Twist?
You're Twist Benz.
I'm
All right,
Twist
at
GBG.
Twist Ben's. I don't have any followers anyways.
Neither do
And
I.
I'm
Doesn't really
Twist
matter.
at Twist Host Mike. And the crazy thing is, our show at Twist Sports Talk is in third place. Cardboard Doge has the most followers out of all three of us
Yeah.
and our actual show.
Way to go.
What do you
Doge.
got to say about that?
Not much.
Okay.
He
A
doesn't
cardboard
say
cutout.
much, but that smile will sell. I'll tell you that.
You know,
He has more followers than us.
Yeah.
that is phenomenal. So again, thank you to Lake Lewis.
Yes.
That should be fun for the Redskins. I mean, it sucks when you have the second overall pick, but it's also a lot of fun when you're getting a big name player like that. So second interview we are going to do via phone, and that is with Steve Quis of ESPN. He currently calls, well, not currently, but he does call basketball nationally for ESPN, regionally for Spectrum Sportsnet and Fox Sports West in LA. He's assigned to the Pac-12, the WCC, and Mountain West Conference games, along with the Wooden Legacy Tournament and the NIT. He spent 2012 and 2013 calling major league games for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Sweet.
Lake just texted, says, thanks for having me on. So thank you, Lake. We
Thanks, Lake.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bud. Steve-O.
Brought to you by Bricks Boatworks.
Tell him.
Maybe he went back to bed.
I doubt it. He's excited.
He's got nothing going on today.
Hello.
What's going on?
Steve, how we doing, man? You're live on Twist.
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. I mean, there's not much going on except for our podcast, so it's a great day.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, you guys have exclusive content, baby.
We're right now breaking down which is the best hand disinfectant to use.
Yeah.
Purell. I have some Purell at work that it even smells nice. And
Oh.
It makes you feel like a human.
There you go. That's what it's all about. So, you're live on Twist. I know Mike's got he did an intro about you, some of the things that you got going on. Obviously not right now, but, that you do. Anything else that you kind of want to drop for an intro on yourself?
Not really. I mean, I'm a college administrator, actually, Monday through Friday. So it's been a very busy week. I'll tell you that much. Canceling classes and trying to get everything to become online format. So it's been a difficult week.
And you were supposed to call a bunch of games this weekend. You and I chatted yesterday about that, and that kind of hurt the bank account a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I did. I think I got one in on Tuesday. I got Sierra Canyon, that team that's got those 2 McDonald's All-Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Bronny, Matt, and I actually went and saw them live here when they played Minnehaha.
Yep.
Yeah, who beat them, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was
That
a
was
great
fun.
game. More fans than a Timberwolves game. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. So they on Tuesday night, they won on a buzzer beater by Zaire Williams, who's like the top recruit in the country that's unsigned or uncommitted. So they won at the buzzer, but then they couldn't finish it at the state championship game. So then, then I got the 6 state championship games got blown out, and I got moved to the NCAA West Regional Division II. That got blown out. And I even got booked Saturday night for Arena League football, and that got blown out. So it's been a tough week.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what is the kind of the best part of your job, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I like to travel, going to places I've never been before. That's kind of fun. Seeing teams I've never seen before. And then, when I do the high school games at the end of the year, I love to see the talent before it becomes, next level college or even NBA. When you work here in Southern California, as much as I do in the state of California, you get to see all these guys, whether it's Reggie Bush or Stanley Johnson or, even this Zaire Williams, all these guys before they get to college and the NBA or NFL for that matter, or Major League Baseball, for goodness sakes. I got 3 or 4 Major League Baseball kids living in my neighborhood here. So, that's kind of my favorite part of the whole thing.
So do you get to pick like what events you're gonna do on a like for a given week, month, whatever, or is it just whatever's on your docket? I mean, like if there's a high school game you want to see because it's a certain player, do you get to pick that, or how does that work?
No, it's just whatever producers will call you, coordinating producers from the certain companies that you work for. So in my case, ESPN, Spectrum Sportsnet, which is a Laker channel out here, a couple of the Fox Sports San Diego, or the colleges that I work for, like University of California, San Diego, will be Division I next year. They'll call and assign me games. And so, I'll just do those games. And luckily I get about 60, 70 assignments a year.
So it's got to be pretty amazing that you have not just one, but multiple Emmys. So that must help guys reaching out to you like, yeah, we need Steve-O for this event. What's it like winning Emmys, plural Emmys?
It's pretty cool. I haven't, it's probably been about 7 or 8 years since I won one. I haven't even applied for one or put myself in a contest to win one in a while, but it was pretty cool, especially the ones that, a couple of them were like play-by-play for, one was for Trevor Hoffman's record-breaking save. So that was really cool to share it with a team of 25 guys in a truck that did it. And then my favorite one, believe it or not, was one I shared as doing a high school football show for a local TV station in town. Because it was like, we had a bunch of like guys making $6 an hour that were off the streets, doing camera work and everything. And somehow we put it together and got a Pacific Emmy out of the whole thing. So that was, I think, the most gratifying.
Since you know the process of submitting it, maybe you could submit this interview and we could possibly win an Emmy. That'd be sweet.
Sure. Well, here's the little secret people don't realize is, and the reason why I haven't won many more is because you have to pay like $300 to turn something in. So, if you're in a small market, like I started in Tucson, Arizona, and they want $900 for your 3 best stories to get looked at by some, and I've judged Emmys before. And it's a strange process. I mean, I wasn't going to invest $900. So, my whole entire paycheck from Tucson, Arizona for 2 weeks so I could take a chance at winning when some clowns are trying to, judge my stuff in Duluth, Minnesota for crying out loud.
Yeah, there it is.
So obviously coronavirus is in the news. Have you ever seen anything affect sports like this is doing?
Well, 9/11 shut everything down sports-wise, but only for about a week or so. And remember, the NFL still played, but at the time, I was working in Arizona, and I just kind of started. Working in San Diego, and I just kind of started. And it was the end of, like, Tony Gwynn's career, so he was going to play his last home game, and that got moved. And, we were out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and that felt like an eternity. Even the high school football at that time decided not to play on Friday nights. So that show that I just talked about that I got an Emmy for, we were off the air. So we were just kind of sitting around in the newsroom in complete disbelief about what was happening. With a 2 week break, at least they kept us around. The thing that really worries me about this stretch is that, most of the leagues have cut off their spring sports. So that's like 25 guys per show that are freelance guys that are not going to be working. That's going to be serious. I don't know if ESPNU will have anything to cover again live until August, maybe.
Wow.
To be quite honest, if they've already stopped the NCAA baseball championships and softball and everything, so some people are going to get really hit. I'm fortunate enough that I have a full-time job as a college administrator and then 8 other places I work for fun. But most of my friends that I sit by and broadcast are in the truck. That's their entire livelihood. And we're already seeing, like in Las Vegas, them already shutting down sports books and laying people off. I can only imagine how awful this is going to be. By the time we resume in August, the people that I work for may not even be there anymore. And a lot of these freelance guys may be forced to get a job, like a real job like I have. And, who knows how we're going to all bounce back from this. So that's, I think, the scariest thing. So I've never seen this before. I'm sitting here in San Diego and there's nothing to watch today. The weather is raining. There's nothing to do. My wife's a teacher. My daughter's home. It's just like we're going to be staring at each other like this is a little house on the prairie.
Time to pull out the board games there, bud. Monopoly's making a comeback.
Yahtzee.
Bring it out. Here we go.
So I think the NBA was smart that they didn't, they were the first to kind of make a move, but they also didn't say we're done. They said, let's just take a step back. Let's stop playing. And then we're going to look at it. Now, originally NCAA was like, we're going to have Steve call games with nobody behind them. But then they said they canceled. They said they were done. Now, is there any way that we see an April or a May madness, or do you think it's just done?
No, it's done. Like I said, I'm a college administrator, and we've just been sitting in meetings for a week trying to figure out like risk management. And the one thing people don't realize is like the unions are looking at you right now, like the teachers unions, and they don't want stuff done. And it's just a really hard decision to have to make. But I would say that all college athletics are not coming back until you start a football season, to be quite honest with you, where they can restart, the NBA and hockey and baseball and all that, and we'll be fine. But I just don't see any chance with what I've gone through in the last week that they're going to even risk bringing anybody back, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Yeah. I do understand. I understand, like you said, risk management. It's just about, like a bunch of people are saying, flattening the curve and, trying to get a handle as much as you can. You already know that there's going to be people infected, but it's just about, gradually sprinkling these infections into, hospitals and the institutions that can handle it. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, we're all sort of copycats. So the minute one does it, everyone else is going to do it.
Right.
That's sort of the one thing. We could be talking about something in our meetings without going in a different direction. And then we saw UC San Diego, which is the big 40,000 student university. And they're like, we're going online. And then it was like, stop everything. We're going online and shutting down.
Yeah.
And that's the same. It's just like that in all college athletics.
Yeah, it's the domino effect.
And the things I worry about is like the Pac-12 network or the Big Ten network. If they shutter games, and I'm not sure if the Pac-12 has completely shuttered it, but those networks and those people working there too. There's sort of no reason to have like the Big Ten network moving forward until football season starts.
Yeah.
You don't think about it like that from kind of a fan perspective. Sometimes I know for me personally, I get ahead of myself because I'm just a huge rube and I get pissed because there's nothing on. Greg over here was watching WWF with no fans last night. The lengths that we're going to as, addicts to just get us our sports is crazy. But on the other end of it, it's like, these people have families and this is their livelihood. And the fact that this is potentially going to be months is devastating,
Yeah, and let me throw this in too, because my brother runs food service at Angel Stadium, and so everybody's talking about the NBA guys spending $100,000 to take care of the food service workers and all that stuff. While that's great, one thing that people don't realize is those food service workers. Okay, if they work a 7-game homestand in baseball, right? On day 8, they immediately go on unemployment and collect a check for 2 weeks until the homestand restarts. That's his job, right? So he signs all that. So those guys, and by the way, some of those checks from the government are bigger than what they just work for over 7 days, right? Because it's about like $333 a week.
Right.
So you don't have to do anything. So that's one of the great things that people don't realize is, and I don't want to say that those guys shouldn't be taken care of. That's fine and dandy and all, but they're going to be taken care of anyway by the unemployment system. And so they know how to do that. They go 7 days on and then 7-day paid vacation. And so that's kind of the little secret that I've learned about. So I don't worry too much about those guys. They're going to be taken care of one way or the other. It is our, the media guys that are freelance, that are in the truck, that now are just sitting here going, what am I going to do? They can do the unemployment thing, obviously, but it's certainly not going to be as much as they had made in previous work.
Yeah, it definitely is a ripple effect, and it's too bad. I mean, hopefully there's good news and we can kind of grasp on faith and kind of move forward and be stronger because of it. I know the first sporting event that I watch when it comes back is going to be freaking amazing, man.
It's going to have Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah, it's going to be the most viewed event.
I don't care if it's shuffleboard. I'm going to be screaming at the TV. It's going to be awesome.
I hear you.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Steve. Enjoy your time with your family today. I'm sure with all the travel, it's nice for them to have you home for a little bit. But you're part of the Twist Family Nation now, and we'll be sharing this on social media after. Where can some of our viewers find you at, Steve?
Well, at Steve Quis 1 is on Twitter. There's not going to be a lot of great content right now. I mean, there'll be a lot of content about community college administration. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, and the good thing is that I still am a local sports anchor in San Diego at times, so I'll still have at least one gig. I would assume that they'll need someone on there to do God knows what, but they haven't canceled sports yet, so awesome. I'll be there on the CBS station in San Diego. I know that.
Well, thank you very much, Steve, and we appreciate you very much, and I hope you have a great weekend, okay?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Awesome.
Steve Quis of ESPN.
Nice.
That was awesome. You don't think about it like that.
Yeah.
So to get even some inner details of the workings of even, like the breadmen, like even though Matt's getting rich off the coronavirus.
No kidding. I work with companies that
Straight
don't
bread,
sample.
homie.
People are stealing his stuff off the shelves.
I'm sorry, man. I'm praying for all the people affected by this, but please keep buying bread. It's an amazing thing.
It's the bet of the week.
You think it isn't?
Yeah, you think it's not?
Every sports.
There's stuff going on.
Russian Premier League, UFC.
Believe it.
Greg wanted to just end and be like, you know what?
I won.
He went 2-0, 1-1. We're literally in order. 2-0, 1-1. 0 for. But we got to keep it going.
I did not look up Russian Premier League
first
soccer.
and foremost, before he goes on this, I was talking to Greg yesterday, and I was like, well, make sure you figure out your bet of the week. And he goes, what? Bet on what? I won. And I'm like, 1 week don't get you a ring. Does it, Mike?
It doesn't. No, it takes a lot of work.
One, but we'll get there. So he's got a couple back
all
there.
right, Mr. 2-0, why don't you tell our viewers your bets of the week?
First of all, I did not go Russian Premier League soccer because I'm not a degenerate.
Oh,
wow.
Shots fired.
I did go UFC fighting. My lock of the week will be Kevin Lee over Charles Oliveira.
Wow.
I'm going with the wrestler over the jiu-jitsu guy.
Here he goes.
I did have to do some research on
Good
this.
Lord.
My upset of the week is Damian. Also, it's in the undercard of that same card. The Damian Miaya over Gil Burns.
Yeah, and
Gil Burns.
That was your upset.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my lock is the opposite, so I'll start next. My lock is going to be Gilbert Burns Burnsy,
He likes to be called
the
Gil.
big bad Burns.
He likes to be called Gil.
Yeah, Gil.
He's got the Burns. He's going to defeat Damian Mia Wanu.
There you go.
There it is.
There he is.
Miaya.
All right. And then my upset is going to be B. Malachi. My cat's name is B-E-A. So she's going to upset Veronica Macedo. Let's go.
Put it on the board. That's
None of the week.
That's a good
Let's go.
transition. That's a good
I love
transition.
it.
Who
Go
do you got,
ahead.
Mike?
Who do I have? Oh, I got B Malachi too.
You already know.
Got a 10-inch reach.
She's
got
going.
10 pounds bigger. That's my broad of the week right there.
B.
I'm sticking with the women. I am
Let's go.
sticking with them, and my lock is Amanda Ribas.
Ribeye?
Very underrated.
Amanda versus Rhonda Marcos. Amanda's just gonna eat her ribas for dinner right there. So there we are. There's our bets of the week.
How we pulled that off, no one.
Next week you will get a updated leaderboard
And probably Russian
score.
Premier Soccer.
Yeah, hopefully. It's the barn burner over there in Russia.
Put your hands together for the twist topics of the week.
Great topics here, folks. Ooh.
Yeah, it is time for your twist topics. And yes, there are still some topics to discuss.
Oh, plenty of stuff. As we project.
Twist topic number 1.
Numero uno. Rob Gronkowski is making a comeback.
Yeah.
Did you see him last night, Greg?
He was not on from what I saw.
Okay, the long-time New England Patriots tight end is apparently done and closed the deal with the WWE. Is this the perfect post-NFL gig job for the Gronk?
I think this is going to be hugely horrible.
Hugely horrible.
This is going to be terrible. I don't think that he's good on the mic, which is all the best wrestlers. You know, when you kind of see them, they go into acting. You know, John Cena, The Rock, they're good on the mic. I can't picture Gronk being anything other than Gronk, just a big oaf. And I don't know. And now that they're not, I seriously, in all honesty, I've watched wrestling once in the past 20 years, and that was last night because I was anticipating this. I really don't think that I don't think this is going to be a good deal for him.
Well, I think it is going to be a good deal for him because he's been in wrestling before. He's been in other events before, obviously just as like what's they call a feature or a star, comes in celebrity status. It's going to be great for him because he is an oaf. And that's what this sport is about. It's not real deal. It's acting.
Yeah,
and
it's fake.
It's entertainment.
Well, of
and he's
course.
entertaining in everything he does, even if it's annoying, even if he doesn't have a clue how to speak full sentences. I mean, it's going to be all right. So I think it's going to be good for him. So that's my take.
Do you know why it's a good gig for him, Matt? Because he got it.
Love it.
Twist topic number 2.
Numero dos. MFer,
The NFL draft is right around the corner.
hopefully.
Well, as of now, the NFL hasn't canceled everything. Free
Beautiful.
agency will start Wednesday.
Yes.
So being the Skull Brothers and the Degenerate over
Yeah.
here, we did our own 7-round draft.
Mock.
Yeah.
Throw it in there. Ing.
Yeah.
Bird.
Yeah.
Woo! Let's go. I'm
This is-
turned up
We're
right
gonna,
now.
have to,
Greg.
we have to do this again the week before because
Why?
well,
Why?
okay, all of
Do
my
it again
top,
because it's garbage.
all of my top picks are guys. I think they're gonna fill those voids in
Oh
free
my
agency.
God. This is
My number-
progress, not perfection, Greg.
Right now, my number one
Oh.
pick, Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma.
Oh, so you're going
Great-
first? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Well, apparently,
I'm ready.
GBG.
What pick number is that?
The 30th overall pick.
Okay.
Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma.
You need
Get
it.
him.
You need it.
Get him.
Okay, next.
Second round.
Oh,
Second round, we're going to go with an offensive
What
tackle.
pick number?
62.
Okay.
Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle from Georgia.
who
Ooh,
cares?
Big boy.
There you go.
Then we're going third round, pick 94.
Yeah.
KJ Hill, wide receiver out of the Ohio State.
Oh, he
Yeah.
fucking go.
Then later in the sixth
Jesus.
later in the sixth round, they went with another wide receiver from Ohio State, Austin Mack. That's okay. Goes on.
Keep going.
Then I got 4th round, pick 136, Cheyenne O'Grady, tight end out of Arkansas.
You need one of those.
Big guy. Then we got 5th round, pick 175, cornerback out of UCF, Neville Clark.
Neville?
Neville Clark.
Oh, that
6th
sounds
round,
like a Packer.
pick 208, Tyler Huntley, QB out of Utah. Need
Wait.
someone to groom.
Oh, and that he's going to be the guy, huh?
Well, you know what? We're not going to waste a 1st round pick on him. We have
Sure.
a Hall of Famer right now.
Keep
behind
going,
center.
Greg.
Another 6th round pick 209, the pick right after it.
Yeah.
Austin Mack, wide receiver from the Ohio State. We're going to take all of them. 7th round, pick 236, Robert Windsor, interior defensive lineman from Penn State.
Okay.
Then 242 in the 7th round, Jeff Thomas, wide receiver from Miami. There's your draft pack.
Beautiful. All right, I'll go next. So with the 25th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Vikes will take Trayvon Diggs, cornerback out of Alabama.
Oh, I called that
All
one.
right, then we're going to go down to 58th pick. I'm going to take Austin Jackson, offensive tackle from USC.
Oh, big
Then-
dude, 6'7".
89th pick, Isaiah Wilson. He fell, so we're going to take him, offensive tackle from Georgia.
Okay.
Then we got 105. That's Bryce Hall, cornerback, Virginia. 132. Sky Yuma, roll the boat. Tyler Johnson.
I got him there
Let's
too,
go, baby.
I got him
Put
there
him on
too.
the squad.
32.
There he is. Bring him home.
We're
Tyler,
talking it into
put him in
existence.
purple. Love it. And then 205, Yasir Durant.
Mm.
All right.
That's Kevin's younger nephew's
We
brother.
can only hope from Mizzou. And then 219. I like this pick. Sleeper in the draft. Reggie Corbin, running back for Illinois. I like him. He ran all over everyone. You know who Corbin is. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's a great sleeper pick
I
for
know
a
you're,
running back.
yeah.
Do you want us to co-sign on it or what?
You're mean mugging me through the camera, Greg.
Last week, you guys
Next
were talking
pick.
about taking running backs in the
Next
1st
pick.
round.
No.
239, Glenn Logan, interior defensive line, LSU. All right. We like LSU. Why not? 249. Ready for this one, Greg?
Bring it.
Rodrigo Blankenship, kicker, Georgia.
Ooh.
Put him on the squad.
Another Georgia, I'm passing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Rodrigo.
The Blair Walsh
Blankenship.
project was horrible.
The Blankenship project is clutch.
Okay.
Keep her going.
Hop on the ship.
And then 253rd pick, Colton McKivitz,
I'm just glad you drafted a
offensive
kicker.
tackle, West Virginia. Big corn-fed boy.
Okay.
Put him on the squad.
Well, you know what? My picks are brought to you by RTF Sports Network, where we
Beautiful.
are on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, my picks were brought to you by Bricks.
So, like we were talking about with Lake Lewis in the D line,
Yeah.
Javon Kinlaw is going to fall to
No.
us. Is going to fall to us at the 25th pick.
Beautiful. Take them.
2nd round, 58. We're going to grab our QB of the future in Jalen Hurts Donut.
Hurts them.
Yes.
Hurts them, Packers.
He was still
Now-
available to me in the hundreds.
Now, I'm never going to high five a Green Bay fan like I did Ben's, but we also had the same guy at KJ Hill in the 3rd round.
Who do you have? I have
And you're at 94? Well, looks like I stole him at 89.
Let me get him.
Woo! KJ Hill. He's
Love
like a Sterling Shepard type receiver.
Love it.
Fill him in. Let's go.
I like it.
The Ohio State.
We're going to get an inside offense lineman with our other 3rd round pick, Solomon Kindley out
Solomon.
of Georgia.
Solomon.
You heard me. I said it. Tyler Johnson got our guy. I'm actually going back-to-back Gophs. In the 6th round, we're getting Kamal Martin,
Ooh.
6'3", 248 linebacker.
Sleeper.
Linebacker.
Sleeper.
If you get him in the 6th round, that is a steal. If he
You
wasn't
won.
hurt most of last year, he'd be a, second-day pick.
All Big Ten.
Now we're going outside of the line. Big John Runyon out of Michigan with another 6th round pick.
Big
Now,
John.
these are the sleepers.
Sleep them.
7th round pick. We're getting a safety out of Notre Dame. Jalen Elliott is a beast. The biggest sleeper of the draft, and I can't believe he was even a projected 7th round pick, is Stanford Saliams
Yep.
the third
Yeah.
out of Florida State. He's a 6'2", almost 6'3" cornerback.
Monster.
God, in Madden, when I upload and I get my stuff going, he's a 1st or 2nd round pick.
Get him.
Okay? I know it's Madden, Greg. Shut your face. And with the 7th round pick, number 253, we're going to add to our cornerback unit and Kevin McGill out of Eastern Michigan. I didn't go as high, and I've mentioned Trayvon Diggs before in the past because Mike Zimmer does work late in the picks. I mean, we get undrafted free agents with cornerbacks. We mold these men, these boys, into men.
It's a hot take.
Like Vikings fans, you guys change your opinion
It's a
every
hot
week.
take.
Every week, you guys.
Greg,
change.
sorry, we're
Greg.
done with that one.
Greg, we adapt. We adapt.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Quiz topic number 3.
Speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, Greg,
Yeah.
there's been some whisperings that Kirk Cousins could wind up with his old boy in San Fran. Could he and should he?
The best thing that could happen to the Vikings would be for him to go out west to San Francisco. It's wasted money on a guy that you know the best you're going to get out of him is what he did this year. So I don't care who you go to get a quarterback.
Oh my God.
It would be the best thing for the Vikings.
Oh, Benz, you can wake up.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what? The only player that's been better for the Packers this year than Aaron Rodgers was Kirk Cousins.
So you're saying that the team he had this year offensively is the best team that he'll ever play?
No, that's the best he'll do.
No. Well, how?
He had a down year.
How? If the team's better, wouldn't that make Kirk better?
No, because Kirk Cousins has a ceiling, and you saw it this year. He's
It
not
wasn't
that
even his
good.
best season. Oh my God.
Statistically, he did not have his best season.
No,
he
had like
he
5
was
good
down.
games.
Correct.
He had 5 good games, and you Viking fans look at it like, oh, that's an MVP if you take out the other 11.
No, hold on, pause. So you're stating that it was only Vikings fans who was bringing him up in MVP talks throughout the season.
Oh.
No, it wasn't ESPN.
No, it was 1 month. It was like the month
No.
of October.
Okay, but that was only Vikings fans that were saying MVP. That was only coming out of our mouths.
Yeah.
Lies. What are you talking about?
And
It was-
local ESPN guys.
Oh,
Incorrect,
man.
Greg.
It's all right, Greg. So should he go out west if it makes sense? Why not? Why not shuffle the deck? But would I like him to stay here? Yes, I want consistency at the quarterback.
You know, there was some news, and I'm gonna come out and say it here. Last week, I talked about it. We don't need to restructure him.
a couple weeks.
We need to get rid of Linval. We need to get rid of Xavier, and we'll free up 20 million in cap.
So
And what did the
Mike
Vikings do?
No, what did Mike do? Mike puts in his call, gets Spielman on the line.
Yeah. Hey,
says,
Rick.
Bro, check out Twist episode 14, Diggs edition. Check it out. I got some insider info. Sure enough, what happens, Greg?
When I looked at Twitter, it was hilarious because I'm like, Mike kind of talked about this last week. Way to get to the party late, Charch.
Yeah, no kidding. Lieber's talking about it. It's like, I've already been there and done
They
that.
watch Twist. That's what's
So
going
as much
on.
as I like him, even if he doesn't go, we still don't restructure. We just keep him as is and then get rid of him.
And
Jalen Hurts.
I was just going to say, let Jalen sit for a year.
Oh, now you're okay with us taking Jalen.
No, I mean, if that's what you're going to do, I don't care what
you're
you do.
hopping left and
No,
right
I don't
right
care
now.
what you do, but if that's what you're going to do is take Jalen Hurts and you're going to keep Cousins, get rid of Cousins after the year.
You're kind of our Rosie. I like that you riled up a little bit. It's
His
good.
vein pops
I didn't
out.
notice that.
Topic number 4.
When I broke down last week's episode, my vein was popping out because you were driving me nuts.
Driving
So,
him nuts.
twist
Here we
topic
go.
number 4. We are in the midst of Corona Gate. It has wiped out sports as we know it, but we're here and we're talking about it.
Damn right.
What are your thoughts? Did they pull the trigger too early on some of these sports? Are they doing the right thing? What's going on?
I don't think there's anything they could have done once they announced that Rudy Gobert had it on Wednesday night. There's nothing else they could have done. Did they have to indefinitely end all this stuff? Like, I don't know. I think that they're erring on the side of caution, and hopefully in the long run, they'll find out that you'd rather be too careful than not careful enough.
Packer fan just agreed with me, Greg.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Tiffany.
All right, so no big deal. Should they have done what they did? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have. They didn't have a choice. You got to, like we've already said, at first when it happened, all 3 of us were panicking, not because of getting the sickness. We're down with the sickness.
We're clean.
We're clean. But basically, what are we going to do? But there's plenty of stuff to do podcast-wise, so we'll figure that out. But yeah, they did what they were supposed to do, man. It's like it is. It's bigger groups of people. You're trying to flatten the curve. I love that phrase, flatten the curve, And that's exactly what they're doing. Plus, you don't want to get a bunch of fans or trainers sick. There's lawsuits. There's money to be made. We live in a suit happy, John Daly. We live in a suit happy society. Daly and Marouche.
Oh,
Plugged it.
free plug. Get your sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Daly, where's that sponsorship?
Yeah, that's your one
You could be
freebie.
right here.
Topic
You could be
number
right there.
That's your one freebie, Daily.
God.
The
Cheddar.
NCAA extends eligibility for many athletes whose seasons got cut short.
Yep.
Was this smart on their part?
Yeah, that's going to be a mess because you're going to have to figure out who gets that extra eligibility. But they can figure it out. I mean, they're smarter than me. So, yeah, it's a good thing. I think that people deserve it that didn't get to finish a season. They feel like they were shortchanged. You know, all it takes is a couple games, a long run, let's say in March Madness, and all of a sudden you're Steph Curry. You know what I mean? It takes that hype to get your name out there, especially when you don't get to play national televised games. So, yeah, cool.
For the NCAA that does so many things wrong, it's about time they do something right. And this is a perfect opportunity for them to take a bad situation and at least come out on the front end and say, you know what, we're at least going to look into this and see how we can do it.
Sure.
So it's about time they do something right.
I agree with that. I agree with you, Greg. Good.
Wow. They just
Hot
shook
take.
hands.
Hot
They
take.
just shook hands. So we're not going to get into all of it, and it's a little out of order, but there are a couple you need to know about. Get learned.
Learn history lesson. I forgot we're doing the history lesson.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. We're
Yeah.
just going to touch on it real quick. Our interviews went longer, and that's just fine because we love having them on. So
Yeah.
a couple things that happened in sports history.
Tell 'em.
Most importantly, in 1879, Albert Einstein was born.
Juice.
Where's he now?
The world, he's
Juice.
dead. He's dead. You know who else is dead? Kirby Puckett.
Oh, all right.
But in
Rest in peace.
1960, he was born in Chicago, Illinois.
My favorite player of all time. There you
I hate Kirby Puckett.
go. What?
I hate him.
I actually moved to the city in Minnesota in Eden Prairie because
I've
of
heard
him.
this story.
Oh, I've heard him. When I was a wee little lad at a Timberwolves game with my old man, we had great seats. We had great seats, and who do I see sitting there right by the
KP.
basket? KP Puckett. One of my favorite players. Again, I'm just a little Mikey.
Yeah.
And so what do?
Mini Mike.
I walk up to him and I say, "Hi, Kirby, can I get your autograph?" And he goes, "No, only at baseball games."
Yep.
You know who's sitting right next to him? Glenn Taylor, owner of the Timberwolves, tells little Mikey, "You know what, bud? You can have my autograph." My response was, "Who the hell are you?" I got it. Fine. I still don't even like Glenn Taylor, but Kirby Puckett, screw you.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm going to get some backlash on that. Whatever.
My
You don't
favorite
not
player of all
sign.
time.
You don't not sign a little kid's autograph.
Woo!
It's just
I have one of his. I have an autographed baseball card in baseball from Kirby Puckett. I'll give you one.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
1993, Anthony Bennett, the biggest bust in the NBA, was drafted number 1. He
Yeah.
was born in 93.
A lot of birthdays.
There you go.
There's a couple of them, and I got a big list of history. You know what?
We
but
got learned.
but we're out.
Some crucials.
We're out of here.
We're gonna let it rip. Go watch
Episode
some live PD.
episode 15. Great episode, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in.
RTF Sports Network. Get it.
.com, twistsportstalk.com, at Twist Host Mike, at Twist GBG, at Twist Benz, at CBD Twist.
Looking good.
Stay corona free, y'all. Bye.